Alright, today I want to show you how to make your spring for your bobblehead. Now, to do this, we need to make sure that we're all done glazing, and we will not attach this to our bobbleheads until after it's been cooked for the last time. But inside this black box here, you will find your paper clips. There should be a few different pliers, and then you will need a pencil. So, I'm going to grab one of each of these things here. Now, there's a few different types of pliers. They all should work about the same, and I really only have a few, so you'll have to take turns. But it should go pretty fast, and you'll be able to do a lot of this without the pliers too. So your first step is to just unbend the whole paper clip. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit really close here so you can see what I'm doing here. So I don't need to get it perfectly straight, but I want to undo as much as I can. And we are going to need to leave some of the paper clip straight to go into the little holes we made for our glue. So I could almost just leave this part bent down like that already. And then I'm going to take my pencil, kind of go right up to that part, and I'm going to try to hold it really tightly as I wrap around my pencil. Now, you don't even need to get your springs too close together, like that little spacing in between them there is fine. You can have a little more too. And you can always end up pulling this apart further if needed, or squishing it closer too if needed. But you can see here now I've kind of wrapped all that I can, because I got to leave a little bit at the end too to bend upwards as well to be able to glue that spot too. So you can see I really was only able to wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And then either with my fingers or the pliers, grab those little end parts, and you kind of have to pinch the coil in your hand, because I need to bend that coming straight outwards. Now I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see some of this on my camera because it's so skinny, but I need to do the same thing to the other end of the spring. So I'm going to hold the coil part in my hand, grab this little end, and try to bend it going outwards. So then I should be left with one piece sticking straight out down here, and one piece sticking up here. That gives me my 2 spots to add some glue. Try to focus real quick here. There you go. Now you can see it. And then again, I can kind of pull this apart a little bit or squish it together if needed. Now, for your glue, this is not my actual whistle, so I'm not going to actually do this, but I can, bobblehead, but I can show you with this. Now remember, we should have a little hole in the bottom of our heads. You would take your hot glue gun, squirt a little bit of glue right on that hole, and try to get a little bit right on the spring part. And then you're going to try to push this into that hole as far as possible. And you're going to want to hold that on there for a good maybe 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. You really want to make sure that gets glued in there really good down at the bottom there. And then your last thing would be to put glue on this little part, maybe even put a little bit of glue right on where the hole goes. And then you would stick it into that part there, hold it really still for another minute or so, because you don't want to start bobbling until that glue has cured. And then once it has cured, then you can kind of push down on that spring a little more if needed. But then that would be your bobble, and it would hold it and wobble and bobble. So there you have it. You'll just want to be careful because you are a lot stronger than that spring. So you wouldn't want to pull on this once it's glued. So once you kind of get it where you want it, you want to just kind of let it be, and then you can gently bobble it. All right, don't forget to take a picture of it on Seaside when you're all finished, and then you could take it home.